Hello, and thank you for joining me for Fireside Stories. Today's story, A Garden for Miss Mouse, was written by Michaela Montaigne, and I do ask you to pardon me if I mispronounce any author's name. Every 1st of April, Miss Mouse tills and rakes and hoes. Then she plants a garden in neat and tiny rows. A little row of carrots, a little row of beans, and then another little row of lovely lettuce greens. But this year, when she started to plant her little rows, she stopped and said quite suddenly, "This bores me to my toes." "I know what I will do," she cried, and then she danced a jig. She grabbed her biggest shovel, and she began to dig. "I'll plant the biggest garden ever seen by any mouse." Then up came every bit of land all around her house. Next, she had to plant the seeds. It took her all day long. But all the while she planted, she sang a planting song. "Plant a little of this and a little of that, cover the seeds and give it a pat." Every day she hoed and raked. She tilled and she pulled weeds. And soon green plants were springing up where she had planted seeds. The plants all started growing. They grew and grew and grew. And everyone in Mouseville came to ah and ooh. "Oh, what lovely peas," they cried, "and see the beanstalk climb." Reporters took Miss Mouse's picture for the Mouseville Times. The garden grew much bigger, and then it grew some more. It covered all the windows. It covered the front door. That garden was enormous, and the plants were so very high that Miss Mouse used a flagpole to get her laundry dry. The mailman left her letters atop a beanstalk vine, while Miss Mouse proudly laughed and said, "Isn't my garden fine?" Then one day she woke to find 5 mushrooms on her sheet, 10 pea pods on her pillow, 6 peppers at her feet. There were green beans in the basement and wax beans on the wall. There was celery on the ceiling. There were pumpkins in the hall. Tomatoes in the bathtub, spinach on the chair, turnips on the table, and zucchini everywhere. Cabbage in the kitchen, corn cobs in the hutch. "Oh, my goodness," cried Miss Mouse, "my garden's grown too much." She knew she had to call for help, but couldn't find the phone. Then finally she found it where the Brussels sprouts had grown. She called her best friend Field Mouse and asked him to come quick. "Bring someone you know," she cried. "Our vegetables to pick." So everyone in Mouseville rushed out to help Miss Mouse. "Where are you?" they cried helplessly. "We can't see your house." "My garden's growing everywhere," her friends could hear her shout. "Please start picking vegetables, for I cannot get out." So they started picking fruits and vegetables galore. They picked more kinds of vegetables than you've seen in any store. When finally they found Miss Mouse, she cried, "Oh, how could I know that this would have happened when things began to grow?" "Don't worry," Field Mouse told her. "It isn't all that bad. We'll make the biggest salad that we have ever had." All day they made that salad. They chopped and tossed and peeled. Then they had a garden party on Mouseville's football field. Goodbye and thank you, said Miss Mouse when all her friends were going. Next year I'll keep my garden small. It won't do too much growing. Thank you for joining me. If you'd like to hear more, please subscribe. And while you're there, please also hit the like button. Until next time, happy reading.